laws that regulate elections in Nigeria. In this class, we're going to look at the basic laws, which are two. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is a grand norm. A grand norm means the most important law in Nigeria. Other laws, as in the right, their validity from the Constitution. So other laws in Nigeria depends on the Constitution. It mustn't contradict the Constitution. So the Constitution is the most important law that regulates election in Nigeria. Then the second law we're going to be looking at is the Electoral Act that was signed into law by the President in February 2022. So what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be identifying sections from the law, identifying components of each of these two laws and how they impact on the election. So the first is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The most critical law that governs the electoral process in Nigeria is the 1999 Constitution as amended, because it's this law that determines who is eligible to stand for election in Nigeria. It's this law that determines who can be a candidate at any election in Nigeria. And one of the most critical provision of this law is a provision that has to do with citizenship. For you to stand for election in Nigeria, you have to be a Nigerian citizen. And so every other condition depends on that, except you're a citizen. Whether you are educated or you are of the right age doesn't matter. The most important factor is that you must be a Nigerian citizen. Secondly, the Constitution empowers INEC to manage elections. So elections that are not conducted by INEC are invalid in Nigeria. Elections that are against INEC stated processes are invalid in Nigeria. So INEC, as the electoral management body in Nigeria, is empowered under the law to conduct elections. Also, the Constitution determines political parties, who can form political parties, what should be the conditions for forming political parties, what should be the structure of political parties, at what should be the extent to which political parties should go in achieving its aims. Also, the Constitution determines at what point can a political party be deregistered. There are critical sections of the Constitution that lays out conditions for the registration of a political party. So what it means is that essentially, you can register a political party, you can belong to a political party, but for your political party to be viable, to be continuously registered, to be continuously known to the law, there are conditions you have to be fulfilled. Winning 25% of elections in a state, winning local government chairman election position. So some of these conditions are prima facie necessary for you to continue holding a political party, for you to continue to function as a political party. So it goes beyond forming political party as an association. Yes, we agree that the Constitution allows you freedom of association, allows you to form a political party. But if you form that political party itself must be effective for it to enjoy continuous registration. The second pillar is the Electoral Act. This second pillar, this law was signed into law by the President in February 2022. This law is so critical because it introduced new concepts and new features into the electoral process in Nigeria. One of such is the release of funds. Now, funds has to be released for the conduct of general elections 1 year before the election. Also, the law introduces time frame as to the conduct of party primaries. Party primary has to be conducted 180 days before the main elections. Also, one of the most critical features of the new Electoral Act is electronic accreditation and transmission. So what it means is that ICT has become a feature of our elections. Electronic accreditation, electronic voting were adopted, electronic transmission were practicable. So ICT is a feature of our election now and by law accepted. Then also the law defined new electoral malpractice. So a new set of electoral malpractice have been recognized under the law. There are other laws also that have impact on our elections. The ICPC Act, the EFCC Act, the Criminal Code, the criminal procedural laws, then the other legislations in Nigeria that impact on the elections. But don't forget, the two critical laws are the Constitution and the Electoral Act.